Hi, everybody. We're going to finish the lesson that we started yesterday on 7-1 angle relationships and parallel lines. So you should have your packets or your books out in front of you right now. And if you're looking at this problem here, I'm not sure which page this problem is on. But we did this one yesterday. I want to go back and talk about this one again just to make sure that we remember what we were doing yesterday where we left off. We have Ariana's house has the porch stairs shown. Line M is parallel to line N. That's this line right here. If I can get my pen to actually write. This line right here is running parallel to this line right here. Line M is parallel to line N. If the measure of angle 7 is 35 degrees, the handrail right here is acting as the transversal in this figure. Okay. So honestly, what I would do here is I would just redraw this over into this blank space over here. It's going to be a lot easier to see what's going on here. And I'm having some troubles getting this to actually grab and drag over here. Yeah, here are my parallel lines. Here is the handrail, which is acting as the transversal. There we go. If we draw it separately like this, it's going to be easier to visualize all of this. It gets a little confusing, a little muddled when we see all the stairs and all the rest of the drawing there. We have angle 1, 2, 3, 4. I know this is messy. 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's how we're referring to each of these angles. And if angle 7, if the measurement, remember that M here means measurement. If the measurement of angle 7 is 35 degrees, I'll just write that in right here, 35 degrees. I'll circle it. If that angle is 35 degrees, find the measure of angle 1 and angle 2. Angle 1 and 2 are way over here. Okay? So how are we going to find those two measurements? I'm just going to put measurement of angle 1 equals measurement of angle 2 equals, and then we'll figure out what those values are. All right, what I do know is angle 7 here, let me switch colors so I can show this to you a little bit more clearly. Angle 7 right here has to be the same measurement as angle 2. Those two angles, angle 2 and angle 7, are alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior. They're exterior angles because they are outside of the parallel lines, and they're on alternate sides of this transversal here. 7 is below the transversal, 2 is above the transversal. So those are alternate exterior angles, which by definition have the same measurement. They're congruent. So I know angle 2 is going to be 35 degrees. It has to be the same as angle 7. So what would be the measurement of angle 1? Well, angle 2 and angle 1 combined fill in this entire line right here. They have to add up to 180 degrees. Now remember, that means they are supplementary angles. Supplementary angles, supplementary. Supplementary angles total 180 degrees. So angle 1 has to be 180 minus angle 2, which is 35. And that gives us 145 degrees for this other angle here, 145 degrees. Okay? And so there we go. Those are the measurements for angles 1 and 2. All right? In fact, every angle in this entire figure will be either 35 degrees, the acute angles are all 35 degrees, or else 145 degrees. All the obtuse angles are 145 degrees. Okay, so that's just a review. I know we did that one yesterday. Let's look at example 4 now. Again, I'm sorry, I can't tell you off the top of my head what page this is on in your book, but Hopefully you found it. And here we want to find the missing angle measures. In this figure, we have parallel lines. M and N are parallel. And line Q is perpendicular to line P. This gets really confusing. Here's line P, here's line Q. See how they're forming this right angle here because they are perpendicular. All right, we are told here the measure of angle 1 is 40 degrees. This angle right here is 40 degrees. Okay, what is the measure of angle 7? This angle over here. Well, there is more than one way to do this. Let's walk through the steps here. In step 1, we want to start by finding the measurement of angle 6, this angle right here. Do we know what the measurement of angle 6 is? Well, actually, doesn't angle 6 have to be 40 degrees? It does, but why? Well, angle 1 and angle 6 are alternate exterior angles. You have lines M and N are parallel. If you look at line P as your transversal, cutting through those lines, that means angle 1 and angle 6 are alternate exterior angles in that figure. And so angle 6 has to be 40 degrees. Okay? So to find angle 7, I know this angle here, that's 6 degree, the angle 6, plus angle 7, plus angle 8, these three angles together add up to 180 degrees. They form up that entire side there on line P, your transversal. Okay, so now that I know angle 6 is 40 degrees, I'll fill that in there, plus the measurement of angle 7, plus the measurement of angle 8. Angle 8, you see this little square here, that's 90 degrees. Those have to add up to 180 degrees. Those three angles together fill in this entire half of a circle here, or 180 degrees. Okay, so actually, if you add 40 plus 90, you get 130 degrees. And that plus the measurement of angle 7, which is the only angle we haven't found yet, has to equal 180. So subtract 130 from each side. In other words, 180 minus 130. And the measurement of angle 7 then has to be 50 degrees. All right. There are other ways we could have done this problem. But no matter how you do it, you should find out that angle 7 must be 50 degrees. 90 plus 50 plus 40 is 180 degrees. It gets confusing because there are actually two transversals here. Line P and line Q are both acting as transversals. So this does get a little bit confusing. All right, so let's look at this check here. I'm going to move my picture down here out of the way. All right, so in this figure, line A is parallel to line B, and you can see those two lines right here, line A and line B are parallel. And line C is perpendicular to line D. Here's line C, it's acting as a transversal. Here's line D, it's acting as a transversal as well. The measure of angle 7 is 125 degrees. So we have a 125 degree angle right here. Angle 7. That's 125 degrees. What is the measure of angle 4? Well, again, there is more than one way to do this problem. Okay, so I'm going to show you one way to do it. Just know there are other ways to do it, okay? So I've already done this in advance here. I want to do this to kind of block line D out of our view. So we're just looking at A and B as our parallel lines, C as our transversal, and we'll just ignore D here, okay? Angle 7 is 125 degrees. Now, what you'll notice is this angle over here, if you combine angles 4 and 5 together, those are, in relation to angle 7, the same measurement. This has to be 125 degrees. Well, Mr. Wyatt, how do you know that? How do you know that's 125 degrees? Well, if you look at line C as being your transversal, this angle, angle 7, and this angle here, which is 4 and 5 combined, are alternate exterior angles. So I know the measurement of angle 4 plus the measurement of angle 5 have to equal 125 degrees. And I also know the measurement of angle 5 is 90 degrees. See the right angle here? So the measurement of angle 4, if you add to that 90 degrees, it'll equal 125 degrees. So hopefully you can see now what I'm going to have to do to find the measurement of angle 4. We'll subtract 90 here as well as here. This cancels out. The measurement of angle 4 would have to be 35 degrees. And yes, you may use calculators. I strongly encourage you to use calculators. I have some here in the room that you can borrow from me, but I do need them back before you leave class today. Okay, so this does get confusing because we have these two different transversals that are drawn in here. I basically blocked this line D. I did show this part here just because I wanted you to see these two angles, 4 and 5, combined to be alternate exterior with angle 7. Okay, so this one gets a little bit messy, and that's why I wanted to block line D out of view there to make it a little bit easier to see what I was doing. Okay, so anyway, I don't think we have any other problems we need to discuss. Your assignment is on pages 391 and 392. You need to do 1 through 10. All it is due tomorrow, and I will answer questions then. All right, you have the rest of the class period to work on this. Make sure you're on task. I'll see you tomorrow.